Okay, so first we want to find f comma g. By definition, this is f of g of x. As you remember, I like to do this just to trigger your memory. So this is f of 2x squared minus 2. And now we have to look at f. F says 3 times whatever you want minus 3. 3 times 2x squared minus 2 minus 3. And I have to simplify this. I have to distribute 3.
You divide it first.
There is no division. This is not an equation. I cannot
Simply
simplify. Yes, yes. So we have 6x squared minus 6 minus 3, which is minus 9. Since I have the function, and I see that I'm asked to evaluate this at -1, why not quickly evaluate it for -1? Which is 6 times -1, which is 6. 6 minus 9 is -3. Is this clear?
So you don't break it down.
I can't. That's not. I cannot do anything else. And now we have the other one. Correct. Now we want to determine g comp f. Is everything clear so far? Yes, everyone? Perfect. So now we want g comp f, which of x, of course, which is g of f of x, which is g of 3x minus 3, which is, now I take a moment and look at g. What does g say?
2x. 2 whatever.
Yes, it says 2, and then
Whatever you want.
whatever I want squared, this is what I want. I want 3x minus 3 squared, and then minus 2. So 2 outside. Can anyone expand for us 3x minus 3? And let me refresh your memory. How many terms will you give me? 3 terms, thank you. First term squared. Minus 2 times 3 times 3. 18x. And plus the second term squared. Very good. Awesome. Now you can distribute 2. Only now. 18x squared minus 36x plus 18 minus 2. I will combine like terms. 18x squared minus 36x plus 16. And this is done. And now I'm asked to find g comp f of -1. So that's it. And tell me what you get. So what do we get? We get 18, we get positive 36, and plus 16. If you say so, I believe you. Good. So let's select something else.
Wasn't it always substitute for -1, so it would be plus 36?
Yes.
Oh.
Negative 36 times -1. Yep. Sure. Good. What are we? Yes, please. You see?
Okay, so I'm confused at the what I have is 2 plus 9x squared. I know you did 3 times 3 the square, which is 9x, but the 18x plus 9.
Good. Can anyone explain?
A squared plus 2ab
Plus.
b squared.
Excellent.
That's how you get that.
I just tortured it with it 5 minutes ago. See?
It is something you have to know what to do. Your work is done.
Should I go home? Excellent. Excellent. We had to cry on each other's shoulder first, though. I love you. I love you. Please do. So I also tell my students, I don't think I told you. Okay, so here is my dream. I don't like grading. I really don't. I like talking to you. I like doing problems. I like anything. So I would like you to help me be able to do this when I grade your papers.
Okay.
Go ahead and do that anyway.
We can just get in touch with the group. I mean.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Please help me do this. Because see, this is the easiest thing to do for me. It takes me a minute to grade your paper. But if I have to say, okay, out of 10 points, can I give 2 or 3? He or she's on the right track. But maybe I could give 4 points. And then it takes me forever to grade. So please help me do this. Please, that's my dream. And you can.
Even if the answer's wrong.
And you can help me do this. You know you can. Okay, what am I doing? I forgot. Which one? What am I doing next? Which one?
Can we do number 10?
Number 10. Let's look at number 10. In number 10, we are given f of x, which is 6x minus 7. We're asked to find the inverse and graph both on the same coordinate system. So how do I find the inverse? First of all, what type of function is it? Linear. Good. So it's a linear function. Does it have an inverse function? How do I know? A function has an inverse function only if the function is 1 to 1 by the horizontal line test. For each y has to also have 1x only. Okay, perfect. So the linear function is 1 to 1 because we know the graph, right? Okay, perfect. So it is 1 to 1. So how do I find the inverse function?
You want to set it equal to y,
Yes, I replace f of x by y.
and then you switch out the variables,
Very good. X equals 6y minus 7.
and then you solve for y.
Correct. X plus 7 equals 6y, and y equals x plus 7 over 6. And final step, I replace y by f inverse of x.
Is it okay when I do this, as long as I keep the signs the same, is it okay for me to flip it? Like, I guess, kind of like how you did, like, write 6y, just put it on the other side, because it's the same thing, right?
Yes. So once you get here, you can rewrite it as 6y equals x plus 7.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Because if I look at an equation from the left or from the right, it's the same equation.
Okay. And then divide all that.
Correct. So now we want to graph. Let's graph the function f of x equals 6x minus 7. When x is 0, y is? Very good. So 0, negative 7. When y is 0, rewrite it. Rewrite it. Don't do it in your head. You don't have to. Move 7. So then x equals? We are dividing by 6. We are solving for x.
706.
Very good. So then this is 7, 6, comma 0. So I'm going to graph 7, 6, comma 0. It's a little bit difficult, but it's a little bit more than 1. I'm fine. Right here. And negative 7. I didn't plan ahead, so I'm going to need a bigger graph. So here's the graph of the function. So f of x equals 6x minus 7. What do I have to graph next before I graph the inverse function? Something very important. Before I even consider graphing the inverse function, I have to graph
Look like another point.
what line is this? Y equals x. Y equals 0 is a horizontal line. No problem. Why am I graphing y equals x? Who cares about y equals x? Because we know that the graph and its inverse, the graph of a function and the graph of the inverse, will always be symmetric with respect to the line y equals x.
I'm sorry, how did you get the other two lines?
The inverse and the function will always have the graph symmetric with respect to the line y equals x. And I need this for chapter 4 also. I need you to remember that.
I'm sorry, how did you get that? What's that point?
This one and this one.
No.
This one.
Yeah.
I just graphed it. I did not determine this point. I just graphed because this is the first function in transformations that we used, y equals x. It bisects the first quadrant, it bisects the third quadrant. It's a symmetric function, it's an odd function. This is y equals x. We have to graph it. You can say it's not part of the graph. I know it's not, but we have to graph it. It's always the same for any function and its inverse. Yes, always the same. So now I would like you to give me 2 points so that I can graph the inverse. I haven't graphed the inverse yet.
0. I mean,
Yes.
wait, negative 7 6.
So
Like 0.
That's 0.
so how can you give me one more time? I want to write them down.
Negative 7 6 and 0. Is that one? The opposite?
Oh, can't you just use like 0 and 1 or 1 and 2?
No.
So you're just reversing them. So
Yes.
0, 1, it's going to be 1, 0, 0.
So
Oh,
this point is
6, 7,
7 6 comma 0. What is the symmetric point for this?
0, 0.
Exactly. And remember, this point does not move because it's on y equals x. And if you reverse it, you're going to still get the same thing. And I need one more. Although you can say for a line, you need only 2. I agree. But I want you to give me one more.
0, we do negative 7 0.
Which one?
Negative
Negative 7
7,
0. Excellent. 4 5 6 7. Good. Excellent. Very good. You do not have to plug in numbers in x values in the inverse. All you have to do is just reverse the order of the points that you already determined for the function. That's the whole purpose of the exercise, to remember that. Good. Next question.
Number 9.
Number 9. Write the equation of a circle with center 6, negative 8, and radius 10. Graph the equation. Yes. The center 6, negative 8, radius 10. What is the equation of a circle? Very similar to equation of the distance, the distance formula.
Is it the 4x?
X minus h everything squared plus y minus k everything squared equals the radius squared.
Oh, no.
This is the equation of the circle. Bless you.
Thank you.
What now?
Which number?
9.
Okay, so then Can anyone dictate?
So it'd be
Yes?
6.
X minus 6, everything squared, plus?
Or y plus eight,
Very good. Equals?
10, or 5, or
Oh,
10 squared.
100.
Excellent.
I just have one question for you.
Sure. Yes.
Why? See, sometimes the letters confuse me. So H is actually acting as okay. Alright.
Yes, these are the coordinates of the circle.
Okay.
So now when I graph this, I graph the center, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I go 10 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is, what was it? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this was 8, 9, 10.
How do you graph that again?
The radius is 10. So I plot
The radius.
the center and I go around the circle with 10 units.
Wait a minute. So you started. The first point you made was at 6 and 8,
Negative 8.
and then you counted 10 points after that.
The radius is 10.
But the radius. Okay. Which is the middle of the circle.
No, that's the center.
I mean, the
This
center
is
of
the
the
radius.
circle.
Yeah, this is the
Oh,
radius.
the center.
So I have to determine 4 points. I should determine 100 points to make a good graph, but I only determine 4. This is the radius, this is the radius, this is the radius, this is the radius. They're all 10.
From the point that we plotted.
That's the graph of a circle. The radius, the points are 10 units away from the center. Is that okay?
So the equation is just something we have to do to
Right.
show
That's the equation of this circle.
circle,
Yes, correct.
and then we just plot it.
Yes, we are asked to graph
Right.
the equation. Yes. You're graphing the circle.
Can I see the equation of the circle?
Yes. Good. Anything else?
What about that exact point thing? Is that almost like the same? The number.
No, in other words, I don't want you to take the square root. It's the distance. So if the square root is 4, then you write 2. If the square root is 3, you just write the square root of 3. You don't have to approximate it. Yes. So hold on. Sharice, you wanted to do 11?
Is that what number was?
I thought so.
Yeah, the exact distance.
Okay, let's do 11 and then 1. So we're given -3, -4, and 5 comma -3. So the distance is the square root x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. That's the formula for the distance.
You have to memorize this or we're gonna do it.
Please,
Memorize it.
please. It's the same with the equation of the circle, just the letters are different. So label this x1, y1, x2, y2, and then write them underneath. 5 and -3, -3 and -4. Let's do this together, please. How much is 5 minus -3? It's 8. 8 squared. 64. Don't forget the plus. Nothing underneath here can be negative because you're squaring everything. -3 minus -4. 1. Excellent. 1 squared. 1. So then the distance is a square root of 65, and you cannot do anything to it. That's the exact. If you approximate it, you take the square root, then it's not going to be exact anymore. That's what I meant.
I have a question. If I write my formulas, and then I know we gotta put them away for the test, but well, that kind of.
Yeah, you can
I
write.
feel like I could like. What if I? So can we can't write them like
On
on?
the card or anything?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can't write
we
them
have
because
to.
either way we can. You know, we can jot them down really quick, but we have to like remember.
Yes, I
when
would
we
like you to do that. You can.
On an index card. Bring it in.
No, I would like you to write them before the test starts.
Write them before the test starts.
Yes.
Once the test starts, you want us to put them away though. Can we write it
Can we
on the
use
No,
test?
I'm giving you the test, and you write them on the test.
Oh, okay.
From the index card.
Not from my
From the index card.
from your memory on an index card.
Then we put the index card away.
I was trying to.
Okay. So we're looking at number 1. So we have x plus 13, and we have x minus 15, and we have x plus 11, less than or equal to 0. You will remember them. You have another week. Okay, all we have to do is, how many factors I see here?
Oh, let's get this good.
How many factors we see? Please say 3.
3.
Perfect. So can you give me their zeros in ascending order? From left to right. Negative 13, negative 11, and 15. Do we understand how we got those numbers? And there are zeros. Correct. X plus 13 has a 0 somewhere. Under what? Under negative 13. X minus 15 has a 0 somewhere. Under? Good. And x plus 11 has a 0 under? Of course. Now what happens under negative 13, negative 11, and positive 15 for the whole thing?
Okay.
0, 0.
Careful. It's a rational function. On the negative 11, what would you write? On the negative 11, what would you write? We just graphed rational functions and we didn't write 0 when the denominator was 0. We cannot.
Undefined.
Yes, that's a different story. When the numerator is 0, you can write 0, but when the denominator is 0, you cannot write 0. We know that. Okay, so now all these are linear functions, odd degree, in other words, with a positive leading coefficient. Odd degree, positive leading coefficient. Possibility number 1 or possibility number 2? Number 1. Okay, that's all you have to do. We learned end behavior for polynomial functions odd degree with a positive leading coefficient. So on the first subinterval, we multiply or divide 3 negatives. What is the sign of the outcome? Excellent. In the middle, I should say not the middle, in the second interval, I have 2 negatives. In the next interval, I have 1 negative. And in the last one, I have no negatives. This tells me what I want. What is less than or equal to 0? What is less than or equal to 0? There are only 2 possibilities, positive or negative. What is less than or equal to negative? So I'm after negative. Negative is here and negative is here, which gives us this answer and this answer, where the product or the whole thing, the ratio is negative. So x in the interval, bless you. Can anyone dictate?
Why is it 11 and 15?
X negative.
Say it again.
Why is it 11 and 15?
Because the product is negative.
Okay.
So negative infinity, negative 13. Parenthesis, do I put a bracket or not at negative 13? A bracket because of the equal symbol. Union, do I put a bracket or not at negative 11?
Oh, right, no bracket.
I cannot put a bracket because it's undefined. At 15, bracket or parenthesis? Indeed. Well done.
You only take off like 1 point if you put the wrong.
When students start negotiating, I always say, why don't you bring your own test already graded? Just come in, give it to me, and that's it. I don't have to do anything. Good. Good. Okay, we have 12 minutes. Let's not waste time. Yes. Anything else? Number 4 it is. Let's see, what is number 4? Very good. Synthetic division.
But this won't be on the test though.
Why not?
I thought we weren't.
I said it will be on the test. I only said it will not be in the application of type 3.
Oh.
I still remember what I said. So x to the 5th plus, but nice try, 4x cubed minus 5 over x minus 1. Descending order?
Yeah.
Can I use synthetic division? We're asked to use synthetic division. Yes. As long as the denominator is x minus a, in which case here a is 1. That's what goes in the box. What goes in the box? 1. So let's take a look at the numerator, and please give me the coefficients starting with the degree. Think of the degree. What is a degree? 5. So degree 5 has to have 6 terms. Please dictate 6 coefficients. 1. Yes. 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 Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome.
Because there's no like x to the 4th power, you're just put a place and zero.
Oh, 0 is just to hold the place.
Well, yeah, so
Okay.
that when you everything will it's not, it just like when you have carbon with acid, it's not fully like.
But it's not a 0 there.
So it's not.
It's just nothing there.
It's nothing there. Okay. Cause we,
It's a placeholder.
yeah, cause she didn't put zeros the last time. Did she?
With synthetic
You
division,
did?
yeah, I have no choice.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not that I want to.
Okay. No, well,
I have no choice. Good?
yeah.
Good. We copy the first coefficient. The leading coefficient always gets copied. So let's copy it. So it's 1. Here's what I do next. 1 times 1 and write the answer above the line. Perform the operations I see. Okay, I get 1. 1 times 1 and I write the answer above the line. Then I get 5. 1 times 5 and I write the answer above the line. 1 plus 5 is 5. 1 times 5 and I write the answer above the line. 0 plus 5 is 5. 1 times 5 and I write the answer above the line. And finally I get
0.
good. Now, when we divide degree through 5 by degree 1, what do we get? Excellent. So think about the degree 4 and tell me how to write the answer.
The Greek one is in.
So the x to the 4th plus x to the 3rd plus 5x plus 5x.
Excellent. So this is the coefficient of x to the 4th. This is x to the 3rd, second, 5x plus 5. Now here's a question for you. Would you say that x minus 1 is a factor? Yes, very good. X minus 1 is a factor of x to the 5th plus 4x cubed minus 5, since the remainder, this one, is 0. Indeed, x minus 1 is a factor. Any questions?
We don't have to write that part.
I may ask you.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I may ask you, that's why I wanted to clarify it and make sure that you remember that if the remainder is 0, that is the case.
That the denominator. Just write it. That last part when we do four, what is it called? The power of 4. That's
Yes.
what's the rule with that? Is it because because it started with 5?
Because when we divide,
Oh, you subtract the.
yes, copy the
okay.
base.
So you have to do that anyway for all of them.
Excellent.
Alright.
Yep.
Division.
Okay, next problem.
We do
We want to do 5? Very good. We did 5 in class when I showed you that I am throwing a ball up in the air, up and out. So let's take a look. So we have f of x, negative 0.4x squared plus 2.1x plus 7. We're asked to find the maximum and how far away from me it hits the ground.
So in theory, can we just like plug this in like calculator and then find
No. What type of function is it? Yes. Quadratic indeed. Degree 2. Awesome. How do I find a maximum or a minimum for that matter of a quadratic function? I have to find the,
No.
no, the x-intercepts will not give us the maximum. Say it again. No. Yes, I have to find the x first. Correct. Absolutely. But how do I find? No, that will be the x-intercepts.
the quadratic?
No, that will be the x-intercepts.
Look at my notes.
Yes. Excellent. The notes will tell us.
Oh yeah. Quadratic. So 1 variable.
Excellent idea. And no, I'm not on strike, but I want you to give me the answer before I write it.
Quadratic. I gotta find it so much. Someone go fast because you possibly
So the vertex.
Thank you very much.
That makes me think.
Excellent. Only the vertex will give us the max min. Not the x-intercepts, not the y-intercept, not the axis of symmetry, nothing else. Perfect. How do I find the coordinates of the vertex? I can't forget the x-coordinate. What is it? It's coming from the qua formula. Excellent. Thank you, Michelle. 2.1 over negative 0.8. Excellent. What is it? What is it? 2.625 feet. 2.625 feet. So in other words, I threw the ball up and out. So 2.5 feet, 2.65 feet, 2.625 feet from me, it will reach the maximum. But now I'm really interested in the maximum. How do I find the maximum?
Plugging it.
Yes. So let's find f of 2.625, of course. So f of 2.625 equals negative 0.4, 2.625 squared plus 2.1, 2.625 plus 7. Let me know what you get.
While we're calculating that, can I ask you a question about
Yes.
that part really quick?
Yes.
How is negative b two of a, right? So that
But
would
you have to write the negative.
right.
You didn't
Oh,
copy
it
You
goes
didn't copy the negative. You have to copy this negative up here. Yes. So then you have b, which is 2.1, over 2 times this, which is negative 0.8.
but this one be negative 2.1.
No, it's positive. But you have to copy the negative from the formula.
Oh, so just keep that.
You have to. You can change the formula. The formula is not b over 2a, but negative b over 2a.
And then once you divide it, you get the negative, but because of the sign, it makes
Yes.
it positive.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
11.5.
How much did we get?
11.5. 9.7.
Okay.
Oh, let me do it for me.
Good. So in y equals, I clear everything. Y equals, clear. And I have negative 0.4 x squared plus, is it plus? Yes, plus 2.1x. And plus 7. And I go to second and table. And I plug in 2.625. And I get 9.76. 9.76 feet.
How you put that? How did you plug the X in? The second.
X is this key. This is always X. No, I went to y equals.
So as I put it
I
here.
yes, I removed everything so that I can plug in 2.625.
So after you put it in Y, what do you hit to put X in? Is it the word?
No, you want to go to second and table.
Second and table.
Second and
then
table
you'll
to
put-
plug in. Yeah.
Put X in.
I know it's 8:30. Do you want to finish it at home?
Finish what? This problem?
Yes.
Well, I was thinking.
No, she's finishing it.
Okay. So so we know that the maximum is 9.76. So eventually I will be asked to graph this function. So can anyone give us the y-intercept? Look at the graph, the function. 7, very good. 0, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2.65, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2.625. Okay. So I have the y-intercept and I have the maximum. And now we're asked, final question, how far does the ball travel horizontally? What does that mean? What am I asked to find now?
The formula? No.
Now I'm asked to find the x-intercepts, right? It hits the ground. Now I'm asked to find the x-intercepts. So x-intercepts when y is 0, negative 0.4x squared plus 2.1x plus 7 equals 0. So we have to use the quadratic formula. Negative b, negative 2.1 plus or minus. Oh, I want to multiply by negative 1 first. 0.4x squared minus 2.1x minus 7 equals 0. I don't want to solve a quadratic equation with a negative leading coefficient. So 2.1, the square root, 2.1 squared minus 4 times a times c, but this is negative, I'll rather do this, over 2 times a. So I put in the graphing calculator. Don't forget what?
Parentheses.
Around the top, definitely. So 2.1 plus the square root as you know me, I put parentheses inside the square root, 2.1 squared plus, I'll multiply 4 by 7, 28 times 0.4. Close the parenthesis for the top, and divide by 0.8. So 7.56. X equals 7.56 feet. The other one will be negative. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right here. So here's the trajectory of the ball. And that was part C, in which we're asked to graph.